this light communicated in feeling and everything. It was tremendous energy. I felt like this being or light knows absolutely every detail of my entire existence. There was nothing could be hidden from this light, but there was so much love in that light that I knew.
American spiritual intuitive guide Deborah Christie Love shares how she died during routine surgery at age 4 and experienced Earth's heaven, communicated with flowers and water, attended a celestial school, and met a powerful being who revealed her divine mission. Deborah grew up in the early 1960s in a moderately Catholic household. Church attendance felt boring and rigid to her. She had to sit still and listen to things she didn't understand. Just before turning 4 years old, she was scheduled for a tonsillectomy, or tonsil removal. At the hospital, the doctor carried young Deborah into the operating room and claimed her nose was runny before producing a cloth soaked with chloroform.
He puts it over my face and started holding it, and it smelled terrible. I remember thinking, you tricked me, you're being mean, like this isn't what's supposed to happen. I was kicking and screaming and I was yelling, and I really was convinced that he was trying to kill me because I couldn't hardly breathe. And then I remembered seeing bursts of light. I started seeing like colors, like fireworks. They look like yellow and red and blue. So the next thing I know, I was going through this giant white tunnel. It was brilliant bright white, and it seemed really long, but I could see and feel the light at the end of the tunnel was so bright. The biggest thing was that I felt it very strongly pulling me, and it was like I wanted to go there more than I ever wanted anything in my life. I felt like this being or light knows absolutely every detail of my entire existence. There was nothing that could be hidden from this light, but there was so much love in that light. It was a really wonderful feeling, and I felt like, oh, I'm home. This is home. This is where I want to be. This is the greatest thing in the world, is being here.
Deborah noticed she suddenly felt warm. Angelic light beings appeared and communicated telepathically. One guide told Deborah she wasn't sure why Deborah had arrived and offered to give her a tour. The first place Deborah noticed was a garden.
There was a flower that was really tall, a great big sunflower. And as I got near it, it looked like it was kind of dancing. And then I heard communication. It was like, hello, how are you? And I remember going like, they're alive here. Like they're talking to me in my head. She said, well, everything's energy. Everything is alive. You want to remember that. I saw this beautiful waterfall, and it was falling into this pond, and there was a water drop that kind of jumped out, and I heard the water drop say hello to me, and then it went into the pond, and I kind of for an instant thought, oh, it's gone now. And then I heard the voice come up from the pond and say, but I'm not really gone, I'm just in with the rest. That kind of metaphor has come back to me over and over in my lifetimes at different points, because it really explains how we can all be one, but you don't lose your identity. You're always you, because there is only one. And people think, well, do I get lost in the pond? No, because the pond's added to you, and you stay you. And everybody stays everybody who they are, but everything else is added to you. But I did at one point ask, am I dead? Like, is this heaven? And she said, well, what do you think? And I said, well, I don't know. I said, I didn't really think heaven would even be this good. And she said, well, what did you think it would be like? And I said, I don't know, like church. And she said, well, that probably wouldn't be heaven, would it? At one point, they did say that it was Earth's heaven. So, I mean, it's not like the ultimate heaven. One of the first questions I said was, there's nothing really like bad here, is there? And she said, she was confused at first, and she goes, oh, you mean like negativity? She goes, no, there's no negativity here. And when she said that, it was like, oh, I'm home. I don't want to go back. I walked through this one hallway type thing, and when I come out, it was like I absorbed all the information that was in everything that was there. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I know everything. And then as I thought about it more and more, it seemed like it went away. I wasn't allowed to keep it.
Someone told Deborah a very important being wanted to speak with her. After a few minutes, a golden ball of light appeared and grew enormous.
Next thing you know, there's this beautiful being standing there, and he looked like a king. He was beautiful. The energy itself was just so intense. It was very magnetic and very strong. And I felt totally almost paralyzed from it because it was so intense. But it was good. It was love energy, that this beautiful magnetic love energy. I did ask, who are you? And he said, I am Sanat Kumara. His voice was so powerful and it held so much vibration that it was like all of heaven literally shook like a small tremor when he said his name. And he said it 3 times because I was kind of clueless. He said, I'm your father, I'm your heavenly father. And he had the most beautiful blue eyes that were they looked like liquid water, like blue water. He had light blonde hair and hand skin kind of like a Malibu type tan with the light hair and these blue eyes. I remember thinking that if I could just stay here in this energy, that would be enough for eternity. He basically said that your mission will be successful. He said it won't always be easy for you, but you will have help along the way. As he was leaving, he said, your children will always be looked after.
Deborah then stood on a road of golden bricks and saw a beautiful castle in the distance.
And it had turrets on it, and it had gold. It looked like gold caps on the turrets. I was like, I want to go there. I have to go there. This is home. And that's when one of them said to me, well, that's only for people that stay. And this bubble appeared, and I was looking into it like a TV. They were showing me my mom over in my hospital bed, and she's crying. And then all of a sudden I felt her grief. It was just so strong. And I'm like, but why is she crying? I'm right here. What's going on? And they said, well, if you stay here, she will have to go the rest of her life without you. So instantly I thought, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that to her.
Just before leaving, a female being appeared.
She said she was my sister there or somehow. And she said, they let me come and just say hi to you quickly. And she says, but I just came to tell you that I am coming to Earth soon, and I will meet you at some point in your life later on.
Deborah woke back in her hospital bed. Her mother was crying. Deborah was rushed back into surgery. She woke a day later in an oxygen tent. She tried telling her family what happened, but the harder she tried to remember, the more the memory was pulled away. At age 12, her grandfather showed her a book on near-death experiences and said he thought she'd had one. Her psychic grandmother told her she'd remember when she was older. In her late 30s, during a psychic reading, the reader said, your children will always be looked after. The exact words she had heard in heaven, and everything came flooding back.